Calendar. The calendar tool in Blackboard Learn is pretty advanced. It's really taken a lot of the feedback from different folks and it functions a lot better in this new system. So we're going to take a moment, we're going to go ahead and explore it. Typically with a migrated course you're going to find that calendar is going to be one of the tools right in your course navigation menu. If you did not use the calendar tool in the previous system, you can add it pretty quickly by coming up to the plus sign, going down to Tool Link, giving it a name of calendar or whatever is appropriate for your course, and selecting the actual calendar tool right here. To make it available to students, you'd select available to all users and you'd click submit and it would pop right over here in the menu. In this case we already have it, so we're going to go ahead and explore it. So let's go ahead and give calendar a click. So inside of calendar we can see the interface, and one of the things I wanted to pull up right up front is the different views. So you can look at a day, which is an hour by hour view. You can move it to a week view, or you can move it to the month view. So right in here we can see that we have multiple different colors of entries. And so I have lots of different calendars in mind. And so for every course that you have inside of the system, you're going to have a calendar available, and you can toggle them on, you can toggle them off, and they will add or subtract from what's being displayed inside of your calendar. To add an event to a calendar day, it's pretty simple. So here I am, it's on the 8th. If I want to add, I can go up to this plus symbol and I can create a new event here, or I can double click on the tile itself, and then I would just create my my event name, and I could add a description, and this is where it's going to come in. So here I can select which calendar this is appropriate to. So I can be working on one course and make an entry for another course, and I can determine which calendar this is going to apply to. So that's a nice handy new feature. And also it has ranges. So if I want to have this start today but not end until next week, I can actually set that, and we can see that that's been reflected. And of course I can change the hours and even the minutes of this entry. So here I'm going to go ahead and say done, and let's just take a look at how this looks. So here we go. We can see that this one spans all the way from the 8th to the 15th, just like I told it to. And to delete an entry, it's also pretty simple. So I'm just going to click on the entry, swing over, and I'm going to click the delete button. It's going to say, do I really want to do that? And I'm going to go ahead and say OK. So let's take a look at a few other features. One of the other cool features about this calendar is that when you have an assessment or you're deploying something inside of your course, it can update the calendar as well. So if we take a peek at an assessment real fast, I'm going to add in a due date, and let me show you what happens here. So when I come down to edit test options, or if I was creating a test or a survey or something like that, I can come down and under the options where it says due date, so long as I have a due date selected, it's going to enter it into the calendar. So I'm going to select the 15th, and we're going to come back and take a look at that. So I've given this a due date, and it's going to add that as a calendar entry to the course. So let's swing back here, and let's look on the 15th, and let's just see what happened here. So here we are, we're back on the calendar. Here's the 15th, there it is. It shows right up there with the time and the date that I have it. So if I give that a click, I can see here it is, and I can go in and I can set that. Now I can go in and I can grade the assessment, I can edit the test, and if I was a student, let's take a peek at that and let me show you how that works. So I'm going to switch over to student view here real fast, and we're going to take a look on the calendar. And we said that was due on the 15th. Okay, so here I am as a student. You can see that as a student I have far less, just because I'm only enrolled in this course. And if I go ahead and give this a click, I can see, oh, here it is. Here's the event. Here's what's going on. And if I click this, it's going to take me directly to that test. So again, from the instructor perspective, I was able to make the event, the due date appears, and I can click on it from the calendar, and I can go in and I can begin grading and doing all those kind of fun things from there. One feature that I forgot to mention when we're in the calendar and we have that entry, so we're really looking at this from a calendar view, and we see that, oh no, you know, here's the 15th, here's this test, but need to make this really the next day. So we can go ahead and we can modify the due date right in here, and we can change that, and we can update. So here, once I've done that, it's actually moved it, and I've updated the assessment or the test from the calendar. I didn't have to go back into that tool. Of course, there's additional features of the calendar, and there's a lot to explore and a lot to play with, and things that we were doing here, like with assessments, you could do with assignments. There's really a variety of ways of implementing this, but for a general overview video, I think this is where we're going to go ahead and stop. Definitely encourage you to explore this functionality. I think it's going to be something that's really going to help your course.